Do you ever feel like the more you try to connect with your spouse, the further they pull away? It's a painful, frustrating dance, but that dance has a name. It's the pursue-withdraw cycle.
This cycle is something that we work with quite a bit in couples therapy. It's part of what is known as emotionally focused couples therapy. And today we want to unpack in particular how childhood sexual abuse can impact that cycle. We'll explain why your partner pulls away, how trauma fuels this cycle, and how to stop the chase and actually start connecting. Okay, Verlynda, let's start with the basics, even just putting aside the trauma for a moment. What is this pursue-withdraw cycle that is just helpful to know about, to understand, that's so common in so many marriages?
Yeah, for sure. So it's kind of self-explanatory, like pursue, withdraw. So one partner pursues, and if this generally happens in a stressful situation or in a conflict situation, one person pursues and the other person's like, whoa, that's scary. And so they withdraw, which tells the other person that they're alone and that's scary. So they pursue harder, which becomes more scary to the pursuer. So they withdraw more.
To the withdrawer.
To the withdrawer, yes. So they withdraw more. And you're in this cycle of like, you're both doing it because you want to connect with the other person.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is actually like hurting the relationship in the moment.
Yes. So just pull out the desire for connection in that. What's happening? Like the pursuer, for example, can be anything from sort of like an anxious checking in to like attacking and criticism is also part of pursuing. What are they trying to secure? What are they trying to do in that sort of innate behavior that happens for them?
Yes. It's for them, it's like any connection is better than no connection.
Right.
So I am doing whatever I can to get a response from you.
Yeah. So even if I get upset back at you or yell at you or something,
it's like, oh, good. The relationship's safe.
I care enough.
Yeah.
Whereas like no connection, and that's like the worst possible thing.
Because then I'm all alone in this. Yeah. And then for the other side, like for the withdrawer, it might be like conflict is scary. So if we can just calm this conflict, then I know my relationship is safe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just withdraw and I'm going to get quiet because then the relationship will calm down. And then I know that I'm safe with this person again.
Yeah. And that range of behaviors can look like anything from just like quiet sitting, not really answering, I'm thinking, to I can't handle this, I'm going out to the garage.
Yeah, walking out, slamming the door.
That withdrawing behavior. But behind all that is, if I can just put a wet blanket on this fire, I think we'll be okay. And a lot of times like that overwhelm of like, I don't really know what the right thing to say is here. So I'm going to say nothing and hope that this just settles and then we'll be okay. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes there is the like shutdown in the face of conflict where you like, you can't
your nervous system is flooded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's kind of your typical pursue withdraw.
Yes. And I often like to point out that the pursuing is happening because you want to restore the sense of connection in the marriage, but it's exactly the opposite of what works for the withdrawer. And the withdrawer is withdrawing because you want to calm things down so that you know the marriage is safe, which is exactly the opposite of what the pursuer needs.
Yeah.
So the very things that you're trying to do to save the marriage are working against the bond that exists between you.
They're actually hurting the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, like, how does a history of sexual abuse or sexual trauma impact this dynamic, impact this pursue withdraw dynamic? So I'm going to ask you like specifically two different scenarios here. Like if you're a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and your spouse is a pursuer, what might that look like, or how might this look different with this trauma in you?
Yeah. So I think I want to say, first of all, Verlynda, just to like folks that are listening, that everybody's and every couple's experience is quite different. Pursue withdraw is a pretty common pattern. I think someone has said somewhere it's like 80% of couples or something like that. Some couples are pursue, some are withdraw. It's the most common dynamic. And everybody's experience of childhood sexual abuse and how they process their trauma is different too. So please pardon the generalities, but some things that you might sort of consider, like if I'm a survivor and I'm being pursued.
Yeah, and your spouse is a pursuer.
And I'm being pursued. Well, one of the things that I talked about in some of the previous shows that I just recorded with Mary DeMuth, who speaks as a survivor, as part of this content sprint is she was saying like sometimes that pursuit can actually feel like you're being objectified if like there hasn't been like a very intentional clear deposit into like the emotional connection that exists between you.
Mm-hmm.
So if the pursuing is like more directly like I'm pursuing you for sex, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or if I just need to know we're safe and connected and I'm kind of aggressively chasing you a little bit, like those things can carry echoes of the traumatic experience of the survivor and can cause triggering in their nervous system that they may or may not be aware of, which throws up protective walls and can again be counterproductive to the desire or the need to feel connected and safe with your spouse. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just one or two of the ways that that can get in the way. Do you have
Yeah.
any more that you would want to add to that or?
No, well, as you were talking, I was just like kind of feeling the fear a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Like if my spouse is coming at me
Yeah.
strong, that feels unsafe.
Yeah.
And even though it's very different, perhaps, from the unsafe in that moment,
Yeah.
it still is triggering danger, danger, danger in my
Yeah.
body.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So then what about on the other side of this? If I'm a survivor and my spouse is a withdrawer?
And your spouse is a withdrawer. There may be times that where you need extra emotional support or understanding. And as you reach out for that in maybe feeling a little bit dysregulated yourself to your spouse, that could look the same as sort of the normal pursuing behavior that is scary for them, the
Mm-hmm.
withdrawers.
Mm-hmm.
And so they may withdraw out of reflex, kind of seeing it through a relational lens and not understanding that, hey, some of your trauma is coming out for you, and I actually need to move towards you with safety here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it can lead to very easily sensing like feelings of rejection or that you're
Yeah.
not there for me.
Or like I'm not good enough. They're not even
Yeah.
responding. Mm.
Yeah. And not in any way to stereotype because the quality of one's family of origin, I don't think has any correlation to the likelihood of childhood sexual abuse experiences. But if it's not uncommon that there's neglect and other challenges in families where children are more vulnerable. Okay. I'll put it that way. So it may actually be echoes of other parts of your family of origin of not your parents not being there and not showing up for you in the ways that you needed,
Yes.
that the withdrawal is triggering, which led to the unsafety that you associate with the trauma of
Yeah.
childhood sexual abuse. So just like the normal thing that couples do now gets amplified, this pursue or draw cycle, and creates bigger feelings and more fear or even terror or uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Yeah. Like nobody protected me then.
Yeah.
And when you withdraw, it's telling me you're not going to protect me now.
Yeah. And when that young part of you is kind of activated by that, the wiser, mature part of yourself isn't as available to say, hey, no, this is just your hubby. He struggles with strong emotions
Yeah.
and your wife, and she struggles with knowing how to handle your big feelings. And she really does want to be there for you. It's more just like the terrified child can see that this key person is not available.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how that can go. And let's just move this now into the context of physical intimacy, Verlynda. We alluded to this a little bit already, but what about, again, the pursue withdraw cycle and how this interacts with childhood sexual abuse? What about that affects physical intimacy just in your experience as a therapist?
So I think what you were saying before about like being pursued now physically can bring up all that fear and bring up the trauma response. And then my body goes into like fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
And then I'm responding to what happened back here and I'm no longer responding to what's happening in the moment.
Yeah.
And that can be confusing
Yes.
because your head knows that your spouse is a safe person and is not the problem, but your body is screaming like danger, danger, danger.
Which is very hard to be aroused in
Yes.
that context. which
Yes.
could
Like
make-
actually physically.
Yeah, and that could also make sex uncomfortable, which reinforces the body's sort of thing that it's
Like
carrying.
this is dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, so much so.
Yeah. Did you have anything more to add on that?
I did, but I lost it.
Oh, that's good. We'll come
Maybe
to you
I'll
at
come
2
back.
in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, no, I think that's really valuable for
Yeah.
Anna on that side.
And I think the confusion, like part of that is like the sending mixed signals, because I do want to connect,
Yep.
but then I get pursued and I panic and I pull back and it maybe a bit of a push pull.
Yep.
Yeah.
And okay, that's the part I forgot is the
Okay.
whole pressure of like, I want to be a good husband that is like sexually available to my wife. I want to be a good wife that's available to my husband. So that, that pressure on top of like the confusion
Then it's like
and the cultural,
performance anxiety too.
can make it challenging for
What were
sure.
you saying? Culture?
The cultural pressures and
Oh,
messaging
yeah.
what you need to be.
Yes.
To
Yes.
be. And Mary talked about this a little bit too, which I really appreciated of like we benchmark ourselves against healthy couples, against like marriage conference speakers.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And who maybe have set a standard that doesn't consider the amount of sexual brokenness in the room.
Yeah.
So you have
Right.
these other voices kind of coming in on top of your own.
Like you're not good enough in this
Yeah.
department and yeah.
Yeah. So it can get super complex in there.
Yeah. So like we kind of have gone about like the problem part or how it might show up, but what can
Yeah.
couples actually do about this?
Yeah. That's a great question. I think the most key thing here, and again, I'm sorry to keep referring back to the other show, but it is a super helpful adjunct to what we are doing here. You can find that probably 2 videos back, I believe, from this one on our YouTube channel. But one of the key things to do is to learn to articulate that softer negative emotion that's in beneath whatever it is you're experiencing. So if I'm withdrawing, it's like, I'm not shutting you out. I just have some old fears coming up right now. And again, Mary talked about like how challenging and how hard it is to name some of that in the moment. It's scary because you already feel maybe like you're not right or you're not doing what you need to do. And then now you got to tell them like this old thing is coming up for me. And that's really hard to do, but that's actually where intimacy gets built and where healing can begin. And whereas the other partner, you want to be super, super safe and respectful and validating about this. Of course, like, yeah, you want to, let's say we're still on the physical intimacy topic. You want to have sex. I get it. And once that desire is active in you, like you just might wish it was a green light.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you'll get so much further ahead out of like being ultimately respectful of the safety and the bond that's between you more than you just getting your jollies in the moment. Not to dismiss sexual needs, but prioritizing your spouse's safety and acknowledging and validating and reassuring and consent being super high priority for you is just going to send a signal that is so different to your spouse about how concerned you are about their safety.
Yes, safety.
About the fact that where in past times they may not have had control, now they have control of the situation. They have choices. They're not powerless. They're not being overpowered. It just begins to restore all that was broken, that was taken away from them.
And that's not going to be an overnight thing, but
It's hard to
it's
do.
like Lego blocks, like one block at a time.
Yeah. Like you might be struggling with your own feelings of rejection,
Yes. Yeah.
frustration, disappointment if you're promised how amazing married sex was going to be by all these great conferences. And then nobody talked about how struggles exist for so many couples, that kind of stuff, right? So that can all be going on for you too, but just really begin to dropping down into that safety and expressing that. Would you add anything to that? Like just
Not really.
Okay.
Above what you've already said about like
Yeah.
going to those deeper, softer emotions and naming those.
Yeah.
And then acknowledging and validating.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh yeah, and brushing over
You'll be
them.
fine. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not the same.
Yeah. Like the reassurance, the defending reassurance, because of course you want to reassure them.
Yeah.
And yet in that moment, they're back here.
Yeah.
And so you can't reassure them because they weren't safe back there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, super good.
So if you recognize yourself in this, like you are not alone, you are not broken.
And it may be a pattern in your marriage that this thing has got established and if it's felt quite stuck for you guys. But the good news is that patterns can be changed, even ones that feel deeply embedded in marriage. And we've seen couples come in with very entrenched pursue withdrawal cycles or some of the other forms we've talked about, and they can be changed with good, effective help, especially using things like emotionally focused couples therapy.
we can help you stop fighting this cycle. You're welcome to sign up for a free 20-minute consultation call with one of our team members. Go to therapyvo.com and find some help there.